All right. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone who is watching. This is the report of the week, and this is your Friday night live stream. Of course, when I always set up the camera and start it and begin the live stream this evening, it always goes off to a little bit of, I wouldn't call it necessarily a rocky start, but I always just have to always make sure, all right, everything's going all right, the sound works, the frame rate is hopefully viewable and acceptable. And yeah, so here we are. A Friday night live stream. I'm just going to assume that everything is going satisfactorily when it comes down to the stream. In a new setting, not necessarily a entirely new setting. If you check back to probably the most recent video I did, I'm here in the huge comfy chair, as everyone has kind of called it. And I decided, yeah, what the heck, let's do it out of this thing tonight. A lot of people were saying, "Review bra, are you shrinking or is the chair getting bigger?" And a little bit of both. This chair actually grows by the day, so it is growing exponentially, almost out of control, not quite, but almost. So I'm just trying to keep a hand on it, at least make sure it's doing all right. Anyway, here we are. We got the slow mode in terms of the chat enabled this evening. That is something that I will do usually for every live stream that I do. These live streams are done once a month, give or take a few. Sometimes they're done twice a month. Sometimes they're done merely once a month or less. In this case, it's actually been a little bit longer than a month since the last live stream that I did. The last one that I did was actually on Easter, and now we're here at the beginning, almost getting towards the middle of May. So I hope this last month, at least since we were last here live, was a fine month for you. Hope it went over fine. And these live streams, what are they? Well, it's just a chance to kind of do some Q&A, ask questions, and I will hopefully give you answers. A place just where to hang out, talk miscellaneous things. I might do a review of some sort, or I might not. I might talk. Well, I should be talking. I'm talking right now, so I guess I am talking in that regard. And, well, here we are. Now, of course, when it comes down to asking questions, I know that the chat, even with the slow mode, I know that it can be a little annoying, but with the slow mode that's trying to avoid spam and whatnot, the best way to ask a question, and also to support this channel, I'm not going to lie to you, the best way to support this channel, keep that going, keep me going, and keep the broadcast going, of course, is through the super chat. It's a way to kind of highlight your question and support the channel at the same time. That's the best way to do it. Of course, you're not forced to. But with that being said, let's just get to a few of our first questions for the evening. All right. First, a big shout out to Mr. Robert Hall, first person to support. Thank you, Robert. Next, Garbage Clown checking in. He says, "Hello, my boy. Would you consider using your ultimate wisdom to do an advice series based on questions we send in?" Well, I'm not going to say that I am any sort of omnipotent, all-knowing entity. Of course, this you could even consider it to be a form of question and answer, but I cannot say that I know everything or anything close to it. There's many questions which you could send me which I will have no answer for. I won't be able to help you out. But this is, of course, if you have any questions, this is the time to send them in and even support the channel a little bit too. Let's see what else we have now. Getting to a few folks. Sour Milk Baby says, yeah, it's the man, the legend. That was the PG version of his message, but thank you for your support. Kai, he's checking in. He says, "Hi, Review Bro. Hope you're doing well. Keep it up." Thank you, Kai. Thank you for your support. And I'm doing well today. I do get a bit nervous before I do these live streams, and a bit of just anxiety, you can say, but so far so good. Everything seems to be running smoothly, and I hope to have an enjoyable live stream this evening. Let's see what else we have. All Sir apparently says, I love your work, sir. You're a national treasure, Review Bra. Thank you for your kind words. Sky, thank you. Big shout out to you. Let's see what else we have. Casey, she's checking in. She says, you're such a breath of fresh air. Thank you for making our days better with your amazing videos. And thank you for your support and kind words. Let's see what else we have. John, he's checking in. He says, my wife and I are huge fans. Please say hello to my wife, Rebecca Powell, and give her a good hello, everyone. Absolutely. Big shout out to Rebecca. Dumb up, shout out to you. Xander33 writes, what do you think of thug gangsters? Well, when people ask me these questions, well, what do you think of this and what do you think of that, etc., thug gangsters, is that in reference to the occupation, or is there a musical group or a type of means of entertainment which goes by that name? So I can't give thoughts on that without any further clarification. On to our next. Let's see what we have here. Zcat checking in, a small pittance to help feed your growing cozy chair. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it certainly will help. Thank you very much. Let's see what else we have. Tim K. Tim K checking in. He says, Review Bra, do you believe in aliens? Yes, I do. I now, not necessarily in the sense that there are flying saucers flying about everywhere, but I think that they do exist. I believe that extraterrestrial life, in one way or another, certainly does exist. Maybe not in the way that we see it, but I do think that aliens exist. Robot Jesus 420 checking in. University of Cincinnati Listeners Club checking in. Wondering if you ever heard classic redneck radio with Billy Redneck on WWCR at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No, I haven't. I've heard of the radio station WWCR, though. They're a shortwave broadcaster. And I actually sent them a reception report the other day. I picked them up on my shortwave radio, and they had some preacher who was incoherently screaming, and I tried my best to send them a report of that program and let them know I at least tried to listen. Let's get on to a few more questions here. Let's see. EB checking in. Hey, Review Bra, I know you don't enjoy Burger King, but have you ever tried it in the early 2000s? I feel that was their prime. When I was young, I did enjoy Burger King. Now this wasn't necessarily in the early 2000s. I would say more so in the mid 2000s, and they had this as a temporary item, but it was my favorite one. Anyone else remember when Burger King had sliders? When they had those little mini burgers? Anyone else remember that? I forget the specific vernacular for what it was called, but there was a time, must have been about a decade ago, when Burger King had these little sliders that were out, and you could buy them like in a 4-pack or an 8-pack, and they were delicious. I mean, those things were incredible. So I wish they brought those back. I thought they were really good. That was probably my favorite thing ever from Burger King. But I haven't seen those in years. Let's see what else we have here. David Berg checking in. Question, what is your favorite brand of suit? I don't really have a favorite brand. I can't say that I'm loyal to any one specific company when it comes down to men's attire. When it does come down to suits, though, of course, I prefer a more certain specific style, where I always like suits from the 1980s and 90s and all of that. And I just enjoy the suits that have wider lapels, roomier pants, pleats, cuffs, all that. and I just prefer that style, not necessarily one singular brand that goes with it. Alright, on to a few more. Scrumbo Bone Broth checking in, thank you. Bread and Circus 1 also checking in, thank you both. Lil Doggy, he's writing in, hi from Ohio, have you tried Skyline Chili? That's from Spencer. Hello Spencer, I have not tried Skyline Chili, but thank you for the recommendation. Chris, he says, report, you're my favorite human. Well, thank you, and I'm happy to be that. Let's see. Anna checking in, looking dapper, review bra. What are your thoughts over the whole North and South Korea, quote, peace, end quote? Well, it's something that I hope is lasting. It's something that I would really like to see happen, and something that I would like to see as lasting as well. Peace is something upon which I firmly believe in, and I would really like to see it work out. I'd like to see that last. A lot of people, of course, sad it may be, when they see current events, especially North Korea is always a very hot target of this. When they see one threat given or another, people like to hype it up and they almost look forward to some sort of armed conflict in one way or another. But I would never want to see that happen. I would like to see de-escalation. I'd like to see things kind of be brought to an end and see hopefully a lasting peace in the area. All right, that's my hope anyway. What will actually happen, time has to tell, but I could only hope for the best at least. Let's see what else we got. Don't Worry Baby Reborn Collective checking in. That's one heck of a name. You're doing fine. I love what you do. It's performance art. Thank you very much. Emmy checking in as I'm a hungry boy. What should I eat? Review God. Well, I would say you should eat whatever you're hungry for. If you really wish to follow in my footsteps, you can go over to McDonald's and you can go ahead and get what I got today: 2 double hamburgers and a large Coke, light ice, and some fries, some French fries. So that's what I had to eat today. Let's see what else we have. Let's go through these for a bit. Let's see. Favorite type of food, like Italian or Chinese, etc. That's from Cameron. I don't really have a complete favorite type of food. Of course, I always like my fast food, as terrible as it is. But I like changing it up a bit. Of course, I like pizza. But of course, I do enjoy dining on various Asian cuisine and international foods, and bread and water and coffee and fried garbage and everything in between. Let's see what else. Murray checking in. He says, do you remember a very old video where you talked about shoehorns? That was the first video I saw, and it makes me happy to see how well you're doing now. Oh yes, that was one of the original Idle Mind videos, lecture number 2, upon which I talked about shoes and the absolutely fascinating world surrounding them. Yes, indeed. The very early ones. Casey checking in again. What's your favorite color? Mine is green. My favorite color is probably black. I like the color black, as you can see from my ensemble. I'm pretty much just going with black suit and a bow tie tonight and a white shirt. But I really like the color black, actually. It's very nice, but also like a lot of other colors too. Sincerely Scott checking in. Brian, he says, shout out to Miss Sue. All right, shout out. Angle Media checking in, thank you. Brad, he writes in, do you have a favorite football team? No, I'm afraid I don't. I'm not a big sports watcher, unfortunately. But I don't have a favorite football team, no. I'm just not the biggest sports person, you know. It's where sometimes I'll watch baseball on occasion and sometimes NASCAR, but I'm not a huge football football viewer. This guy was wondering if I put any cheese on the burgers. No cheese on the burgers. No cheese. Gotta subtract the cheese from the burgers if you're going to McDonald's. Except for the Big Mac. Big Mac is an exception. What else do we have here now? Can you... I don't know what this means. I assume it is some sort of video game reference. Can you wish me Guild Grizzly good luck on killing Kel apostrophe Tuzad? Well, all right, Grizzly, good luck. I don't know who that is, and but best of luck, I suppose. Anyway, let's see what else we have. Anthony checking in. Anthony Hernandez. Did you tie the bow tie? No, I didn't. I'm not even ashamed to say I didn't. I tie my neckties, but a bow tie, I'm afraid I'm not as good at tying. So no, this is just a pre-tied one to get on quick, and but I have no shame in admitting that. Nick checking in. Can you give my fiance Sam a shout out? Absolutely. Big shout out to Sam. Mr. Smoke checking in. Your voice calms my baby Solomon. Much love. Thank you. Happy that this voice is able to be calming. Julia checking in. Include more cats in your videos. I know they're there. Believe it or not, actually, there aren't any cats in the house tonight. There aren't. No cats. No cats present. Sometimes I will wear a little cat collar for fun, and I'll kind of jingle it around, for my own entertainment. But there are no cats present, nor are there any accounted for this evening, I'm afraid. So no cats tonight. But if you want, you can actually imagine that there are a half dozen invisible cats lined up on both arms of this chair and even behind me as well. So if you do wish to pretend that there is a legion of cats present for this live stream, allow your imagination to do the work. Let's see what else we have. Michelle checking in. Are you aware of the Mandela effect? And if so, are you affected? Well, the Mandela effect, yes, I am aware of what it is. And the Mandela effect is not, I feel it to be just a psychological phenomenon, really, of just forgetting one thing or another. But that's my opinion, my 2 cents. We're, of course, the famous, despite the name, I think the most famous instance where people like to say this is the Mandela effect is where people talk about the Bernstein Bears, and they talk about the spelling in regards thereto, and people say, well, I always remember that it was the Bernstein Bears, not the Bernstein Bears. And people say, yeah, I remember that too, yeah. And you remember when, Australia used to be positioned in the North Atlantic Ocean? Yeah, but I feel that there's certainly, I had a few mind-blowing moments of that once, but I feel that it's really mostly attributed down to memory or lack thereof. And, the case where people just remember things differently, and that's just how it is. But that's just my conjecture. I mean, for all we know, we could just be living in one crazy simulation. No proof to that, but that's my thoughts. Anyway. TBMC Nation, I'm not even going to answer that question. I do not support those views, and I've removed it. Stephanie checking in, she says, this is Running on Empty food review. Please say this if you do. Well, I just said it anyway. But you might get a review later on in this live stream. You certainly might. No guarantees, but you might. Lily checking in, do you drink energy drinks? On occasion. Nowadays, for my caffeine intake, I've switched mostly over to coffee, especially that from Starbucks. This looks like a mess, I get it, but this is what I had today. It's their iced white chocolate mocha. I've mostly consumed all of it by now, but that's what I get for my for my caffeine intake. Anyway, a few more folks checking in. AT checking in. Thank you for the wonderful content. Thank you for your support of it, and thank you for your kind words. Ted, he's writing in. Hello, Mr. Report of the Week. Thanks for doing what you do and being a model YouTuber. You're helping me keep calm while I work at the office, meeting my deadlines. Well, best of luck with your business endeavors, and happy to keep you calm. Matthew, Review Bro, will you come to California and do certain actions with me? I don't see that happening, I'm afraid, Matthew. Let's see what else. Sour Milk Baby writing in, what's the craziest thing you've seen doing a review? I'm trying to find it now. I lost it. Have fans or randoms ever tried to come into your videos in public? Not too often. I remember actually long ago back in New York when I would sometimes film in public at the mall. One time right after my show, my episode on Tosh.0 kind of went out, I got recognized quite a bit in public, and while I was filming a review once, someone did recognize me in the middle of the review. This individual actually knew me more on a personal level back from high school than just someone on the street recognizing me. But that was one case I do remember in which I was recognized in the middle of a review. Ryan checking in, where does this money go that we donate, LOL? Well, it goes to help out this channel, keep it funded, keep the radio broadcasts on the air, help keep me going, quite frankly. And that's what it does. It just goes to help support all of this. Quite frankly, in terms of the radio broadcasts that I do, I know not everyone tunes into them, and not everyone listens, and that's fine. You know, that's to be expected. You can't force someone to do something, but none of it, goes out for free. Anything on TuneIn, anything on SoundCloud, all of that, this goes to help. And sometimes I have a struggle keeping that even on the air. It doesn't break even most of the time. So that's the honest truth when that comes out. But anyway, Malleable Tick checking in, says, on break right now, love your work, and I recommend that you watch a series called Steins Gate. It's free, and there's a playlist from Funimation's YouTube channel. You might like it. Well, thank you for your suggestion. I'll certainly take a look at it when I have the chance, so thank you for your suggestion there. George, do you plan to collab with YouTubers in California? No, I don't usually plan on doing any sorts of collaborations. I prefer doing solo work. That's just how I feel most comfortable, and that's just how I feel, just with YouTube. I mean, I've never done any real collaborations with the channel, but to anyone who offers to collaborate, and it's just not something I feel comfortable with, I never mean it in any offense to them. It's just how I feel and how I work. It's just how the channel is essentially run. Anyway, discover the vibes checking in. Will you ever venture out to the UK, Review Bra? There are a couple of wimpy fast food restaurants you could check out. Yeah, wimpy. I've heard of them. I don't plan on doing much traveling, but you never know what the future holds. That's what I say every time, and you never know what the future holds. Pumba the Pig checking in, shout out. Josh, he says, is Colonel Sanders your favorite philosopher? If not, who? Colonel Sanders. I was actually... if you would actually believe it, in terms of Colonel Sanders, I was actually watching this old TV series from the 50s and 60s. It's an old game show called What's My Line, and I've been watching that quite a bit, and they would sometimes get these high-profile individuals on who would, this panel would try to guess who they are, kind of like 20 questions. And they brought Colonel Sanders on, and at the time, I guess KFC wasn't big to the extent where in the 1950s or so, no one even knew who Colonel Sanders was. At least not a lot of people did. So You know, that was that was crazy to see. Colonel Sanders, he was real though. But if he saw the state of KFC right now, I'm sure he'd be rolling over in his grave. Let's see who else we have. Do you launder and press your own suits? If so, could you do a video on the process? No, I don't. I go to a dry cleaner if I need them to be taken care of or altered in any way, shape, or form. Sarah checking in. I don't know why you want me to say that, but I will. I see no terrible offense in doing so. But she says, could you please say my name, Jeff? But that's that. So that's been said. Let's see what else we have. Snoop checking in. I dream of sharing Little Caesar's wings with you one day. I wouldn't call that a dream. I'd consider that more of a nightmare, quite frankly. Let's see what else we have. Stephanie checking in. What are your thoughts on the anti-vaxxers debate? I believe in vaccines. That's what I will say there. I think they're very important. Matthew, will you ever do a video on reviewing adult videos? Absolutely not. No. Snoop checking in again. By the way, I loved you in Spider-Man. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that was probably the zenith of my career. But thank you there. Long time ago right there. Glad you remember those glory days, though. Working our way down, Brad, he says, have you ever worked at a fast food restaurant? No, but you can't forget the employees at these restaurants. They, you know, sometimes it could be quite hectic, I know. Might not necessarily be the most enjoyable field of work, but you can't just dismiss the employees of these fast food establishments, because they certainly do. They do quite the job. Let's see who else we have. Review Bra. Would you please tell my wife, Nicole, that her taste in husbandos is garbo? We are longtime fans. Well, it's been said. Let's see who else we have. My Pillow Guy. Dude, you rock. I really want to know what your favorite color is. Well, I've already answered what my favorite color is. It's black. Favorite color is black. Let's see what else we have. Taking another drink of water. Boy, I tell you, lots of things coming in. All right, on to a few more. This is just some Q&A, so I'm just answering your questions. I know there's a lot of super chats that are coming in, but I'm gonna get to them all. Don't worry. So don't worry about that. Slow and steady wins the race, as they say. Kitty checking in. Long-time listener of your VORW on YouTube. If you had to wear a suit besides black, blue, and gray, what would you choose? I would choose brown suit. I actually have a brown double-breasted suit that I wear in my rotation quite regularly. And if I had to choose after that, I would try and do maybe like an olive or subdued green suit. I have a 90s double-breasted green suit, and you know, probably that'd be the next one. Alright, on to a few more. Travis Farnham checking in. Have you decided yet on whether or not Review Brethren is a sufficient fandom name for your fans? He said it'd take a few weeks. Well, still take a few weeks more, I suppose. I'm just getting something to prop my legs up on here. Take a few weeks more, but Review Brethren. Well, it's an interesting name. I think that's the same thing I said last time. All right, let's see what else we have. Christine checking in. Thank you for all that you do. So glad I discovered you. Thank you. Alex writes in, I have a Carl's Jr. Hardee's opening up near me, and I want to know what you suggest I get there. What is your personal favorite meal there? Well, honestly, I don't go to Hardee's Carl's Jr. too often. But my favorite thing is actually in the breakfast hour. I really like the chicken biscuits. That's one thing from there that I really do enjoy. And I like their chicken biscuits. Yes, the person who a lot of people are saying donated $1,000. It's not $1,000. That's foreign currency, and you know, even though it looks like a lot, it actually translates to around $100, which is still a quite large amount of money. But that is not $1,000. But that's just one thing that happens with foreign currencies. Ryan checking in. What is your IQ? I don't know. 2,000. Silly. Alex Keyser, shout out your way. Geyer's checking in. Describe the anxieties you battle as a creator. Well, this is some unsolicited advice. When you are with or deal with YouTube in any capacity, you're going to have a lot of numbers sent your way. I mean, you're going to have a lot of figures, be it, oh, here comes the cacophony of clocks and the perfect timing, but you're going to have a lot of figures, a lot of numbers, be it views, subscribers, or anything in between, and sometimes you're going to feel pressured. You're going to feel like, I should be doing this, or I should be doing that, or why aren't the views coming in like they used to be, or why aren't the subscribers coming in like they used to be? What am I doing wrong? You know, and you'll start perhaps getting a lot of, you're going to fall into this trap where you're going to feel like, almost like you're being forced to do something. Like, I feel like, you know, why can't I just, I want to do this, but it's not getting any views. Why can't I do that, etc., etc.? And don't fall into that trap. At least try not to. I know it's not the easiest thing to say, but once you're there, you'll get it. And just try and do what makes you happy, what you enjoy doing. That's most important of all. Because if you enjoy what you're doing, that sense of being genuine will show. And that's most important, at least what I believe. Instead of trying to force one thing or another that you really aren't, just because you think it'll get more views or whatnot. But that's just my unsolicited advice. Alright, a few more. Space checking in. Want to play video games sometime? Well, define sometime. But I'm not a big video game person myself. Mike checking in. Did you visit the Haunted Mansion when you did the review of the Aloha Dinner Show at Walt Disney World? No. But the Haunted Mansion is probably my favorite ride at Disney. Haunted Mansion's awesome. Matt Hansen checking in. Thank you for your contribution. He says, on behalf of all Matts in California. I apologize. Thank you, Matt. John, he's checking in. Is it true you play RuneScape? Not anymore, but I used to. I used to play RuneScape. Ryan checking in. You should get an Instagram. That's something that I may do in the future. It's come down to, at this point, trying to get an appropriate handle for my Instagram page, should I get one. Fatboy Paul writing in, pineapple on pizza or nah? For me personally, I'm not a big pineapple on pizza consumer. However, if if you want to get pineapple on pizza, go for it. Get whatever you want on pizza. I mean, go ahead and get chocolate chip cookies on pizza. Go ahead and replace the tomato sauce with Coca-Cola if you really want to. Whatever floats your boat. Anyway, on to some more. Let's see what else we have. Charlie, thank you. He said it would mean a lot if you could give a shout out to my dearest pal Ron and give us bread twists. Alright, shout out your way. Razor, he says, killing it with the bow tie, looking sharp. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to break out the bow tie this evening, and thank you. Glad you like it. Stevenism checking in. He says, 2 questions. What's your favorite time period and how you feel about hats with suits? Favorite time period? Well, I like the present. And otherwise, I just like a little bit of everything from each decade. Every decade, of course, has its good and its bad in terms of culturally and whatnot. Every decade, I don't know why I was going to say diet. Every decade has its good and its bad. And hats with suits, they're fine. I mean, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't usually wear a hat with a suit. I have a straw Panama hat that I'll sometimes wear outside, but that's usually due to its practicalities of keeping the sun off of my face so I don't get burnt to a crisp. This individual says, will you ever review Waffle House? I actually have reviewed them already. It's a video titled How Waffle House Saved the Day, and I've already done a review of Waffle House. I have indeed. Let's see what else we got. A few more. Okay, we're making our way down now. Joffrey checking in. He says, hi, review bros. Sigma New at GWU. Loves your channel. Love a shout out. Shout out you got. And if you could have one condiment your entire life, what would it be? I don't know. First thing that came to my mind, though, was ketchup. This individual says, have you ever had any paranormal experiences? When I was young, I woke up in the middle of the night terrified by a toy I had on my shelf that started lighting up. Still can't explain the coincidence. No, I've never had paranormal experiences, I'm afraid. Never had any sort of ghost encounters in one way, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, I've been watching a little bit of television lately, and I was watching this television channel. I'm trying to recount what it was. Is it AHC? Or is it some other one? I don't know. But they had this show on called Ghost Brothers, and it was so weird. You know, I don't know. It was just very, very weird, that's all. I think it should just taken more along the lines of entertainment than that of anything serious, but yeah, I think it was called Ghost Brothers. I was watching that the other day, and it was just a very entertaining program. Anyway, cranky old Cuber checking in. Really enjoy your work. Enjoyed yesterday's VORW and looking forward to future broadcasts. So thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Corey checking in. You're the man. How many suits do you own? I would say I own about, I don't know, maybe 30 suits or so. Not that they're all $1,000 suits. You know, I got them most at a good price online or at a thrift store. But a good collection. They are not all in one place, but I would say maybe, I think that's about the right number. Alright, let's see what else we have. Daniela checking in. Do you like Michael Jackson's music? Oh yeah, Michael Jackson. He's great. I actually like his song Black or White. I think that one's from the 90s. That's a great Michael Jackson piece right there. Spencer checking in again. Ever gotten sick after a review? Yeah, many times. A lot of this garbage makes you sick. I'll tell you the truth. Tons of it does. You eat so much of this crap. How else will you feel afterwards? Yeah, it'll make you sick. Lots of times. There's all definitions of sick. Being, you know, not feeling well or just throwing up after. Usually it's never to that point. But yeah, I'll eat some stuff, especially from KFC or Long John Silver's sometimes, where I will, I'll feel very sick afterwards. Just doesn't settle well with me. So, yeah, of course. Anyway, Sounds of the Banana checking in. Says, you look like you've lost weight. What do you eat? Well, I've been maintaining my weight. I have been eating actually a little bit healthier as of late. I've always been doing just one meal a day, but I try to add some vegetables in now. you know, I try to incorporate some healthier stuff, try to stay active, and you know, just try and, you know, eat some greens a little bit more, so to speak. Anyway, Sour Milk Baby checking in again. Got diagnosed with skin cancer at 25. Found your channel right when it happened. It was scary, but you helped me in dark times. Thank you so much. Well, I hope things get better for you, and it's wonderful that this channel is able to help you out. Let's see what else. Daniel checked in, said, could give a shout out to Billy Townsend and Joe and Mary. Keep up the good work. Shout out to all of you. This individual donated $27, but message retracted. All right. God bless you, you magnificent individual, unquote. Have you ever considered traveling and trying fast food from different countries? Again, I don't really plan on traveling immediately, but you never know what the future holds. You never know what the future holds. So that's where that stands, I guess. Let's see what else we have. Would you ever consider doing a meet and greet later on along the line at a convention or something? Again, you never know. Julia checking in. In all seriousness, would you like your fans to stop making risque or approaching that comments about you? You can't force people to say one thing or another. I've realized that by now. So you just ignore it, you know, you ignore it. Because if you make a big deal out of it, and you say, you know, stop doing that, stop doing this, stop, that's just going to show everyone, well, that's obviously, you know, whatever they're saying or doing is getting to you and having an impact. So I just say, you know, that doesn't matter. Say what you want, you know. You know, it is what it is, I guess, as the good classic saying goes. Because that's where it stands. Otherwise, if you try and make a big deal out of it, that's just going to exacerbate the problem and make it, you know, just give people, the trolls, motivation. So I just don't care, you know. So that stands. Let's see. 4659 Rock Intensity says, Paint It Black, the Rolling Stones. Well, if that's a music request, it's a good one. Some good classic rock right there. Rolling Stones, yeah, Paint It Black. Good one. Good one. That's it's a good one. When is a sandwich a sandwich? Well, a sandwich is a sandwich when it happens to be a sandwich. What defines a sandwich as a sandwich is whatever a sandwich considers itself to be a sandwich. Matthew, why not review recipes? Well, it depends what you would define as reviewing recipes. I mean, you know, what do you mean by that? For instance, and here's why I kind of give that answer. In terms of recipes, like what would you consider a recipe? Like whenever you think of a recipe, right? You like to think of, oh yeah, this was, you know, my great grandmama's spaghetti sauce recipe that's been passed down the line for 1,000 years, you know. But really, when it comes down to recipes, theoretically, the last thing I reviewed is a recipe. I mean, there was a recipe to make that Little Caesars pizza that I reviewed. So it all depends on what one would define as a recipe. Let's see what else we got. Tristan checking in. Hello, Tristan. Heavenly Controller, shout out your way. This guy wants me to give a shout out, but I don't know. This one's tough. This is some difficult ground right now. He says, can you say Vipex is the best Fortnite player? Well, how do I know that? I don't necessarily have enough knowledge on the game of Fortnite, which I'm surprised is still such a big deal, to make such a claim. So, I mean, what if he's the worst and he's just trying to get that out of me? So I cannot give a committed statement on whether or not this individual is or is not the best Fortnite player in town. All right, what else do we have going? Jason, family enjoying the stream on the big screen while eating dinner. Well, thank you. Glad you guys are enjoying the stream, and hope you guys have a pleasant meal. Mario checking in. What is your favorite fountain drink? Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, favorite fountain drink right there. Some of these questions, I feel, they're just trolling, so I feel no obligation to necessarily answer them. How is the cat doing? Well, again, they're not here right now, but they seem to be in good spirits, so no complaints there. My Pillow Guy checking in. I'm sorry, that name just makes me laugh. Can you give a wonderful shout out to my family, Jackson, Rob, and Decker? Thanks, man. Thank you for your support, and shout out to the crew. Cody from Canada here. What's your favorite movie in the Star Wars saga? Gosh. That's tough. That's tough. I haven't even seen any of the new Star Wars films, even though it's been years now. I haven't. I've only seen the first three, the original three, and then the three from the 2000s, but not any of the real new ones. So, I think if there's one thing we could all agree upon, a lot of people always say that the worst Star Wars film, I don't even know the name of it. My mind just escapes me, but the one with Jar Jar Binks, everyone says that's the worst one. But that's just opinion anyway. Everyone says that's the worst one. They say that one's terrible. The Aaron F checking in. Do you think one day you'll start pairing your food reviews with fine wines? Well, you never know what the future will hold. You never know. You never know. Ringo Starry-Eyed checking in. Hi, review, bro. Looking really spiffy tonight. Well, thank you. Yeah, I decided to go with this suit tonight. Just going with the black suit and bow tie. I decided to go with a three-piece suit. The Phantom Menace is what it's called. I decided to go with the three-piece suit this evening because I was a bit cold when I woke up. So I always like to layer it up when it comes down to garments. And usually I will put on the sweater. But today I thought, I'm doing a live stream. I'd like to dress a little more formally for all of you. So I said, no, I'm just going to add a jacket and a nice bow tie as well for the ensemble. And go for it. So that's what I'm doing. To all of you tuning in, of course, this is the Report of the Week Friday night live stream where, I'm just here answering some Q&A, some question answer, miscellaneous talk, and everything in between. And hope you're enjoying it so far. I'm settled into the comfy chair, ready for anything. And just sitting back, having a relaxing Friday evening, doing some Q&A. Someone in the chat, again, the chat moves very fast, which is why I always suggest doing the super chat. That's also a way, of course, to support the channel. But someone asked, did you realize that you got nominated for a Shorty award? Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. I do remember that very much. Of course, I didn't win it. As soon as I saw that it was in the same category as Poppy, I already knew who the winner was. Some people would say, no, you're going to... But when someone is so exponentially larger than you as a channel, it was already decided from the very beginning, from the first moment. You already saw it. Saw who the winner was, anyway. Nick checking in. Shout out to you, Nick. Ashley, she's checking in. Love the music on Shortwave. Do you like Star Wars or Star Trek or both? I'm a bigger Star Wars fan, but admittedly I haven't watched a ton of Star Trek. And Nick, he's checking in. He says, where do your shortwave transmissions get transmitted from? Two transmitting stations, WBCQ in Monticello, Maine, with 50 kilowatts, and WRMI in Okeechobee, Florida, with 100 kilowatts. Those are the two transmitting stations. In the past, they were also transmitted from Kostenbrod, Bulgaria, with 150 kilowatts, Robakwal, Germany, with 10 kilowatts, Tashkent, Uzbekistan, with 100 kilowatts, Red Lion, Pennsylvania, with 50 kilowatts, and there's probably a station or two I was missing. Anyway, Brent, he's checking in. You make my days a little brighter. Thank you. Love all that you do and your attitude on life. And what's your current favorite song? I don't really have a favorite song as of now, but I've been listening to a lot of 70s music lately. Lots of 70s classics, I'll tell you the truth. Adam writes in, forgive me if this has already been asked, but flat earth, yay or nay? Absolute. That's ridiculous. The Earth is round. Flat Earth. Don't even get me started on that. Let's see what else. No, I'm not gonna go there. I'm sorry. This is in regards to the tattoo. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna delve into that. I don't want to. Do you like Mexican food? We love you so much. Authentic Mexican food. I went to Taco Bell yesterday, and I was so disgusted. I mean, it was, and I'm not even, I mean, Taco Bell, they did very good with the nacho fries. And I'll give credit where credit is due. They did good with the nacho fries. I went to Taco Bell yesterday, and I was repulsed beyond belief. I mean, I can't even tell you how disgusting the slop that I eat. I couldn't even eat it. It was like a baby's diaper that was just waterlogged and just soggy and stale. And it was probably the most repulsive thing I've seen in a while. And as I said, I know Taco Bell can do good with one thing or another, but it was sickening. It's so bad, actually. I'm actually going to send their corporate an email because it was probably the worst thing food-wise that I've seen in a long, long time. Think of something from fast food so disgusting that you can't even, I mean, you just look at it and you can't even get yourself to take a bite. And I mean, I reviewed food, for God's sake, and I couldn't even take a bite out of it. It was so disgusting. I'm sorry, just even thinking about it conjures up an image of just something I really don't want to think about right now, but it was just so disgusting. That's all I can tell you. Yuck. So gross. So gross. Anyway, from one thing to the next. Nick, he's checking in. He says, you're the best. Never stop, my friend. Well, thank you for your support, Nick. Grace checking in. Hello, John. Love the bow tie. Thank you. Have you ever considered sharing any of the short stories you've written with the public? Yeah, I might get them, maybe share them or get them published. As a matter of fact, I've taken a bit of a hiatus from writing short stories, but just the other day, I wrote a short story again. I got back into it, and it's just a short selection, about 3 or 4 pages long, short story. But it was just a few thoughts that were on my mind, and I decided to go out and kind of get it down as to pen and paper, and write myself a short story. That's really why I wrote that one, to kind of get a few thoughts out. But I've done and I'll try when I'm really feeling it, to go ahead and get the rest kind of managed and edited and finished up too. But writing can be fun, though. There's all different types of writing, be that journaling, or writing reception reports, or writing short stories, and it all depends on how you're feeling that day. Have you ever considered hosting the VORW as a podcast? Well, it depends on your definition of a podcast, because like the one on YouTube, theoretically, you could already say is a podcast, whereas the one on SoundCloud, you could call that a podcast too, theoretically. It all depends. It's whatever you want to call it. That's how I would say. All right, what else do we have? Kirk checking in. Most handsome man alive, he says. Look at me, got me all choked up. Travel to Europe so you can take the title for EU too. We'll see. One day maybe I'll travel. Perhaps one day. Let's see what else we have. Sarah checking in. Hope you're feeling well. To keep up with live stream tradition, can you show us what shoes you're wearing today? Sorry, I don't know why I have a little bit of a stuffy nose. Might have to blow my nose, actually. So with that, I think, because I'm gonna show off my footwear on camera anyway, I think I'm gonna go, and to be as polite as I can be, I'm gonna get up, blow my nose behind the camera, so you don't have to see such a disgraceful thing, and then I'll show you my footwear. So this is the tissue that I'm gonna blow my nose with, and yeah, right. I'm gonna blow my nose and then show you my footwear. All right, so I'll be right back in a minute. You can still hear me, and here I am blowing my nose. Wow, wasn't that incredible? Now let's do it again. That's insane. And now I'm going to throw the used tissue in the garbage. And now, if you would even think it could get any crazier, there's my footwear. You can see I'm going with these crazy socks tonight. Hope you could see it anyway. This is just the standard footwear that I've been going with for a while now. Just standard black shoes. And yeah, see, I'm looking, and there's a little bit of a delay, but now you could see the shoe good. Yeah, you got that shoe action in there anyway. All right, let's see what else we got. Maybe it's a seasonal allergies, I don't know. But anyway, let's oh yeah, repping the penguin blanket. So now you could say this is a live stream with nose blowing ASMR in the background. Let's see what else we have. Ryan checking in. Can you give us a shout out to Sam Barton? And can you please make Inna Garden's roast chicken and review it? Well, I'd have to research what precisely that is. But thank you for your generous contribution and support. And you never know. Lauren checking in says, my birthday is soon. I told my BF to donate to you as my present, but he spent his money on Fortnite. Please shame him for me. Well, here's the thing, okay? I've never... I said this in the last live stream, and it's been a month, so I guess just to remind everyone, I've never gotten into the Fortnite craze of 2018. I still don't even know what Fortnite is, if you would believe it. I mean, I don't know. So it's I don't know what I mean. I know it's a game, but it's I've just never been one to get into the Fortnite craze, so I don't know if it's gonna be. I don't know if it's money well spent or not. That's all that I can say. But thank you nonetheless for your support and donation. All right, on to a few more. As I said, I know that there's quite a lot of super chats that are coming through, but I try my best to get to them. Razor checking in. He says, my wife and I love your show. Could you please give a shout out to Brittany? All right, shout out to Brittany. Show the shoes. Shoes have been shown. They have indeed. Let's see what else. Kimberly is giving birth to our son, River, this August. Would you please give River Vesky a shout out, and also my sis Annalicia and my bro Philip. I sent you a blank $27 super chat. Respectfully submitted, Brandon. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you for your support. Jason checking in. How would one go about starting a shortwave broadcast station? Is it illegal? Well, it depends in what way. If you said, hey, yeah, I'm going to go get a transmitter and start myself a station, yes, that is illegal, and it would be defined as pirate radio, according to the FCC. However, one thing that needs to be remembered with shortwave radio, and this is how I get on the air, there are many stations in the United States and Europe which broker their airtime out to anyone who wants it, anyone who wants it. And that's how I get on the air. So you could still have your show on the, on the radio, but via a licensed station who takes, who really manages everything for you. You just have to pretty much pay the bills, make sure that, you have your airtime paid for, and get the program sent to them. So that's how that works out. That's what I do. If you want to get on the air, I would recommend you get on with station WRMI. They're located in Okeechobee, Florida. Jeff White is their general manager. And if you want to get on the air, they're the station to go with. They have a wonderful array of 100 kilowatt transmitters. And it reaches North America, South America, Europe, the Middle East, and Africa too. If you want to get on the air, though, I can help you out, but you would need to send me a specific email to vorwinfo@gmail.com, and I'll provide you with the contact information. But, WRMI, they're a good station. I've been with them for over a year now, and, just the staff there is very friendly. They do a great job, and their transmitters have a good reach, too. They do a good job. Let's see what else now. Getting back onto things. The turtle was asking. Wow, the turtle checking in. Thank you. Is that Lord? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Just got done with a big concert the other day, and now went back to my measly life of reviewing food on YouTube, and doing this live stream here. John checking in. Thanks for the quality entertainment review, brah. Do you enjoy going on road trips? I'm a big fan of them. Well, traveling in some ways can be fun, but in other ways it can be very stressful too. But if you're really, feeling it in terms of traveling, it can be quite fun, but it all depends. Dylan checking in. He says, what do you miss about living in New York? Well, just the New York pizza, really, from the local establishments is good. But one thing that I don't miss, for sure, is the weather. The cold. I will tell you this, and it sounds crazy, but it's true. I could sit in a hot car, and I'll be fine. But you get me out in the cold, and it is terrible. The cold, it just gets to my very core, and it gets into my bones almost makes me hurt. And it always is ever lingering. Whereas with heat, you just walk into the air conditioning and you're pretty much better already, or have a cold drink. And, and that's really where that, that is. That's where that comes from. The snow also is never Never fun. Alright, on to a few more now. Let's see. Jessica checking in. I have a burning question. Will you ever run for president? I'm loving the attire tonight, and can you also say hi to Ed, Sarah, and Grace? Hello to the three of you. And for president. Well, you never know what the future holds, you know? You never know. Obviously, at this point, even if I wanted to run for president, I'm too young to do so. Unless you want to go ahead with the hypothesis that I was actually born in 1880, then I suppose I have sufficient age to be president. But there's that. Alright, let's see what else we have here. Emma checking in. Hello from Orlando. Have you ever considered reviewing Wawa subs? That's certainly a consideration. One thing, an idea was actually pitched to me, and it's something that I think would actually do well. I forget, but this was a while back even, but I remember the idea. Where people said, could you, like, do a comparison, a side-by-side comparison between Wawa and Publix subs? I thought to myself, yeah, it's actually pretty interesting. Now, I've never had a Wawa sub, so, you know, who's to say, but that's well, that's all that I have to say there. Alright, let's see what else we have. Mr. and Mrs. Lee, do you watch any YouTubers? You know, as crazy as it sounds, I mostly just use YouTube for watching videos about shortwave radio and listening to music. I know, it sounds funny because here I am trying, at least, to make a living off of YouTube, yet I don't really watch many YouTubers myself. There's some videos that I'll watch from varying YouTubers, I guess I was going to call them publishers, but YouTubers, that I do find interesting, but mostly I'll just watch YouTube for videos about shortwave radio and listen to some tunage, as they say, on as well. Alright, let's see what else we got going now. Topper Prestige, thank you. Shockmouths checking in, you're a god. Well, I don't think so, but thank you. Thank you kindly. Jake from State Farm writing in. Hey bro, discovered the channel a few months ago, and I've been catching up on all your VORW shows and shortwave broadcasts. I appreciate everything you do. Keep up the good work. Thank you for your kind words, Jake from State Farm. There was a time, actually, when, back in 2012, I would still dress somewhat formally, but I would sometimes be more open to wearing a polo shirt and khaki dress pants. And right when the Jake from State Farm commercial was big, I think I was wearing, I forget what he was wearing, I think it was like a red polo shirt and some khaki dress pants. But I remember I wore that and people were telling me that I looked like Jake from State Farm. I remember that. That was pretty funny. I actually just brought back that memory there. Hans checking in. What hair product do you use? Hair routine. I use Brylcreem. What I'll usually do nowadays is I will actually get a lot of water. I'll kind of run my hands in the sink. I'll kind of fill my hands up like a little cup. And then I'll just dump it on my hair until my hair is completely soaked. And I do that because that kind of, and again, this isn't a very popular look. Keep that in mind. A lot of people, they like voluminous hair. They would prefer to have their hair, even if it is in a vintage style, to look more like a pompadour and have that volume because that's what's considered more appealing today. But I like to have my hair pressed down and out of the way, so having it, you know, completely absorbed with water does that first and foremost, gives you that base to do that with, and then I'll apply Brylcreem to it, which keeps it there and also adds shine, hold, but since it's not alcohol based, it keeps it soft as well. Good product though that I enjoy using. Let's see what else we got. Griller Mike checking in. Hey, review bro. I'm about to put in my new card so I can keep being a patron. Thanks for all the entertainment through the years. My pleasure. My pleasure. Happy to keep you entertained. Scrumbo checking in. Hope you're getting enough sleep. Will you ever do a ramen review? Sorry if someone already asked. No, that's fine. Oh yeah, I've been sleeping well. I got a 12-hour sleep last night, just about, from maybe 3 a.m. to, actually, a 13-hour sleep. I slept from 3 a.m. to 4 p.m. Yesterday. So I slept for 13 hours, and I would consider that a good sleep. You see that? I almost missed the straw. It almost punctured through my chin right there. I almost died. It's crazy. It's Scurvy writes in, can you please do some covers? Start by singing your favorite song. Well, that's what I've been doing for the last hour and 10 minutes. So it's already begun. Thanks for your exquisite content. Have a great night, you classy mofo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, and I wish you a good night as well. Let's see who else we have writing in. Just wanted to say I appreciate all the new content you've been putting out. Keep doing what you're doing. Well, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Salad Boy writes in from the UK. Says, thanks for the in-depth review of what American fast food is like. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the reviews. I was going to say, it's actually Cameron. My apologies. Caught myself there. Will you ever appear on the H3 podcast? As of now, I don't think anything is going to come of it. The reason why I say that is because when, I suppose it was Ethan, sent me that tweet like a couple months ago on the Twitter and invited me to go ahead and with the podcast or whatnot. It got a lot of, I should say it actually caused a lot of controversy, where a lot of people were very divided either way, where they were saying, a lot of people were saying either A, get on the podcast, or B, they were saying, don't get on the podcast because it's going to corrupt your soul until you die. And I replied to him saying, well, send me an email. I gave him my email address so we can work further, but no email was ever received, so I think things are just with that. And, that's it. It kind of, I think it was just something done for publicity, and that's understandable. No formal offer was ever sent my way, and that's where that stands, But if he ever sends me an email, I might check, but, it doesn't bother me, It's just a big situation that a lot of people, they ask me about, and that's where that is. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to go through these here. Drew Fit Coaching. Been listening to VORW shows lately while studying. Thank you. And let's see who else we have. Dina checks in. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? It's a good question. I think I'd just like to tour Europe, possibly. And just, just give them the whole continent, really, a try. A lot of people, they always say, I want to just, check out Europe and a lot of the countries they're in. I think just a tour of Europe would be pretty fun to do. All right, let's see what else we have. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get my find my place, because a lot of these super chats come in and sometimes I'll lose my place here. Let's find where we got. Have you ever listened to South Side of the Sky by Yes? No, I'm afraid I haven't. I mean, maybe I've heard the song before, but if I were to, I could not tell you what genre the song is or when it was released or whatnot. Corey, thank you. Shout out to you. That guy with paste writes in. He says, love from the sunflower state of Kansas. This is like the second time someone... What is the deal with this? Some of these things I don't understand. Like when it comes down to memes, okay, there are some things that I find are understandable, why it became a meme and why people might find it entertaining or of interest. But this one gets me. The T pose. I have no words. I don't understand. I have nothing to say about it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. The T pose. He wanted me to do the T pose, but I don't understand how or why it's a meme or what the appeal of it is. I got nothing to say. That's it. That's all that I have. I guess I get that. I guess that says something in and of itself, but I have nothing to say. Let's see who else. Christian checking in. Now I could go on for a while about these two questions, so I'll try and give an abridged answer. He says, "What made you want to start your channel, and what was your reaction to seeing your channel blow up?" Well, first and foremost, why did I start the channel? I started it just out of my own curiosity because I wanted to know what energy drinks tasted like, and that's why. So that's really just why I started the channel. I could go on for a while, and there were shows that I did back in February that talks about it in much greater detail. Otherwise, though, when it came down to the channel blowing up, it's still mind-blowing. When it comes down to things, of course, there's all different levels of growth. And some of it is natural growth, but some of it, quite frankly, is just because you're being promoted higher in the algorithm on YouTube for one reason or another. And the one thing that you cannot forget to do when it comes down to YouTube, and I talked about this a little bit earlier, when it comes down to YouTube, you can get blown away by the numbers and you can get carried away by it. But one thing that you have to remember when it comes down to YouTube and YouTube analytics is that sometimes if you set yourself up for certain goals, I mean, it's understandable, maybe to try and think about doing this one, trying to get a certain amount of views or subscribers. But when it comes out to setting certain goals, a lot of the time, because there is no guarantee for any sort of consistency of growth on YouTube, you're usually setting yourself up for disappointment. And you try and set yourself up for a certain milestone at a certain time or date, or a certain number of views at a certain date, and you're just going to end up disappointed. That's just the truth. But I'm still always so blown away whenever the channel blows up, as they say. All right. Someone commented something, but now I forgot what they commented. Oh well. I'm sorry. It just gets lost in the mix sometimes. This is a classic. This one, you can't have a live stream without this question. Will you ever review Whataburger? As I always say, if I have a Whataburger establishment in the vicinity, I'll happily review it. Happily. Zcat checking in. What are some of your favorite shortwave related YouTubers? I watch the official SWL channel, and I'm looking for others to watch. The official SWL channel is great for shortwave. He does his live streams, actually, and I watched it today. I watched his live stream today. He's awesome. He knows his stuff. He's actually been a listener of my own broadcast, believe it or not. He sent in a reception report or two. But he's a genius when it comes into the medium. The official SWL channel. He knows so much when it comes to it. And he's really he's a great shortwave YouTuber. And Two Hands in a Radio, that's another great channel too. He's also actually a very regular listener. of my shortwave broadcast, and he does extremely detailed and informative shortwave radio reviews. And he just gets so in depth with his reviews. Just a great source of information about the medium. Alright, let's see what else we got now. Mediocre rating says enjoy your foreign money. well, thank you for your support. Sam Vlogs in California checking in. Shout out to you. Let's see what else we have. Jonathan, he's writing in. Found your channel not too long ago. Great stuff. What's your favorite travel destination? Well, I would say the Starbucks down the street is my favorite travel destination at this point in time. David Hasselhoff. Hi, Review Bro. I sent an email to the link in your bio. Can you please check it out? I did. I saw the I saw the link, or not really the link, but the message. So thank you. I did see it, and thank you for bringing it to my attention. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Did we reach the bottom finally? Okay, we did. I think we did. Yes. Darius, thank you for bringing that back to my attention. I'll have to take a look at that, and sometimes it can just get lost in the mix, understandably, but I'll try and find it and get back to you with that. Try and just check it and get back to you on it. Lucas, thank you. Lucas Peterson. Lord Dubious 22 writes in, you've inspired me to dress more formally, and thank you. Cody Jackson, he says, you've taught me that it's not all about conforming to other people's ideas of normality, but about being a kind and respectful human being. I look forward to your content after a rough day to cheer me up. Thank you. Well, thank you, Cody. Thank you for your support, and that's a very kind message. It means a lot. Thank you. All right, we have just two more now. Jen, checking in, would you consider reviewing BK's Veggie Burger? And would also want to take this time to thank you for being such a genuine human being. Thank you, Jen. Veggie Burger, I never even knew they had one. I never knew. That's fascinating. I never even knew they had one. Well, thank you for bringing that to my attention. And the RNF, I'm sorry, I'm not going to elaborate on that at this point in time. Alright. Well, with that said, whenever the questions kind of slow down a little bit, of course the super chat, I always say, is just the way to go, because again, to be honest, it's a way to support the channel and get your question highlighted in a sense. But whenever they slow down, I decide to try and do something. So first, as is tradition, I'm going to just do a quick little scan of the radio for the heck of it. And then I might do a little review. It might not be a full-blown review. Do I have the product to review anywhere? It's somewhere. I'll find it. If I really want to do it, I think it's over here on the table. Either way, I'll find it. If I'm really committed to reviewing this item, I'll find it. It was some sort of product anyway, but I'll try and locate it when I can. But first and foremost, I'm just going to do a quick little scan of the radio, because why not? It's just something I want to do, and I enjoy doing. Though it looks to me that reception, because I have these lights on right here in the camera and everything, lots of interference. I don't expect to pick up much of anything tonight. This is a station from Cuba. Yeah, lots of static tonight because of all the lights I have on. Oh, these are some digital modes on shortwave. This is Radio Havana, Cuba. They're pretty interesting to listen to on shortwave. Spanish. Yeah, lots of static tonight, but still fun to scan around. Vatican Radio in Spanish. WINB, they're a religious station, but they'll broker their airtime. And I bought an hour from them for a month, and it worked out, a little bit, but the signal could have been better. So, oh yeah, this radio, it's a Texan PL660 shortwave radio. It picks up AM, FM, shortwave, and aircraft band. So, it does, it picks up a good amount of stuff. And I can't complain. Again, I really enjoy listening to shortwave and shortwave broadcast stations. That's what I enjoy listening to the most. That's really why I got the radio in the first place. And it does a good job. It's a great radio. I recommend it. It's funny that people still bring this up. The one donation that came in a while back now that was in foreign currency that looks like it was $1,000 actually equates to 116 US dollars. So that's where that stands. Anyway, a few. Well, let me see. Shout out to Warren and Christina. Absolutely, shout out to the two of you. Shout out your way. And oh yeah, someone was asking about a like the best shortwave radio. And well, my personal recommendation, at least in terms of affordable wise, is the Texun PL660 radio. Now it's it's spelled Tecsun, Texun PL660, and it's in my opinion anyway, it's a good radio. But the what else is a good radio? At a cheaper price, the Texun PL380 is a good radio. That still does a great job, but at a little bit of a cheaper price, and just does a good job. Of course, the cheapest radio you can get is the Tivdio V115, which is a I mean, it works. It works, especially picking up broadcasts where you find yourself in the direct target area of. Alright, anyway, a few more questions. Someone in the chat was just asking, why do you like the old-style suits? I like them just because, well, really, I just like the way they look. And I like the way, I just like the fit. I like the way they look. I like the general style of the suits. And that's just what I enjoy the most, just the old-style suits. Now, if you'll excuse me, sometimes I feel like I am 120, because I sometimes end up misplacing things that really I shouldn't. For instance, with this live stream, I mean, I had a couple hours to go ahead and well, the Tivdio will pick up VORW in California in some areas. I would recommend trying out the frequencies of 7730 kilohertz, 5850 kilohertz, and I just added a new transmission yesterday from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific on 7730 kilohertz. That's actually a test broadcast to the West Coast to ensure best reception. I would just recommend even breaking out that radio next week and try that frequency at that time and see how reception is. I mean, again, I can't promise you that it'll be perfect, but as I said, it's on a test basis, and we'll see. But anyway, I was telling you earlier, I had like an hour to prepare for this, and you'd think I would have just had this thing next to me. I wanted to review a product this evening, but here I am, sitting here, thinking that I had it on this table next to me the entire time, And then I look over to the table where I have kind of my water perched. I'm looking over and I see, I don't see it. So I must have misplaced it there. I must have, I must have, I don't know where I put it. I wanted to review this thing though, so if you'll give me maybe a minute or two, you could just call this an intermission. Give me a minute or two while I kind of putter around like some sort of demented creature and try and find this thing that I misplaced. And if I can, then I'll review it. If I can't, my apologies. But just give me a minute while I get up and try and find where I misplaced this item that I wanted to review. Intermission. Enjoy the full beautiful glory of the penguin blanket in the background there. Ah, of course. See, this is what I call it. This is a terrible memory right there. I had this thing sitting here the entire time, but it was just behind this cup of Coca-Cola. So I had it with me the entire time, and I just couldn't see it. All right then. Well, intermission concluded because it was right there the whole time, but I just couldn't find it. All right. Anyway, it was right there the entire time. I can't believe. Oh well. All right. Intermission concluded. Let me just check and see if there were a few other questions that came in. I'm going to refresh the super chat window because I realize it doesn't fully display all of it. And let me see if I could. I don't know why it does that. Let me see. Hope this doesn't crash the computer. It lags bad enough as it is. Okay, now this one's better. All right, let me close out this other window here. I just want to be able to shout out, whoever donates. And this other window for some reason wasn't showing everything, which is odd. Maybe it just reached its limit. I don't know. Okay, here's a few more. Okay, here's just a few more. 3D models such as those in games are genuinely doing the T-pose by default. It's just a sarcastic gesture that caught on like planking. Now you know. Well, thank you. Yes, now I have been enlightened on the chronology and eminence of the T-pose. All right, let's see what else we have. The only reason why sometimes the only reason why sometimes I hesitate when it comes down to this, and please take no offense to this, but when some people ask me to shout out a certain website, I just, I always like to be able to make sure it's not sending anyone to something terrible. Again, take no offense to that, but just when it comes down to shouting out a domain link, I always like to try to see it first and make sure that it's nothing too obscene or anything with any sort of virus or whatever, just for the dignity of the stream and also the viewers thereof. But please take no offense to that, Tyler, I believe. I know you've been a very long time viewer of this channel, and I always do respect your support. Not sure, checking in. I adore you. Thank you. Well, Michael, I'm actually going to be saying this in a moment, so don't worry there. And Omar checking in. Review bro, you're awesome. Shout out to Omar and Emma. All right. Now, here's what I wanted to do. As I said earlier, I wanted to do a review, and I don't think this is really going to be the longest review, but it's something that I had kind of stashed away. It was given to me as a gift a while back, and it was something I was kind of saving to do for a live stream, because it's not necessarily something that is big enough to warrant its own video, but something still that could be pretty amusing nonetheless. You might be seeing this thing and you might be saying, what the heck is this? Is this pepper spray? Is this some sort of chapstick or what? This is battery acid, though they call it warheads. Super sour spray candy in apple form. And I decided, yeah, I'm going to do a little review of it. Apparently this thing is something that you could spray. Like, it's supposed to be sour, and it's something that you could just spray in your mouth. I suppose in your eyes or any other... No, forget that one. I'm not going to go with that joke. Just only to be sprayed in your mouth, though perhaps in another individual's eyes as a measure of self-defense. And anyway, this is supposed to be some sort of sour-flavored spray candy that I was given as a gift. And I'm going to do a review of it. And, yeah, just, it's not a vape, no. It's not a vape. This is what it looks like. I'm just going to do a review of it and just see how sour it is. So, we'll just begin the review. And we'll just go for it. So, initiate the time, pips. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. This is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone watching. This is Running an Empty Food Review, and I am your host, the Report of the Week. Well, this is an interesting review for sure. This is being done on the live stream, and it's for an interesting product. It's for something that I can't really say I've ever reviewed. Well, I guess I can say I've reviewed it, or at least I'm in the process of reviewing it. But this is what it is. Warheads apple-flavored, super sour spray candy. It comes in this tube that looks like a glue stick or something. Comes with a twist-off cap, and it's apparently a combination of water, sugar, citric acid, malic acid, lactic acid, artificial flavors. So it's pretty much water and a lot of acid and some sugar too that you'll be apparently spraying in your mouth. And apparently that's the way it goes. Now it says it has a twist-off cap, and it's supposed to be an apple flavor. This was given to me as a gift, so I'm going to try to twist it off. I'm surprised, look at that. It actually was able to twist off. I thought I was going to be here for 15 minutes, just trying to get this cap off. But no, it came off with a bit of a struggle. But no, here it is. So I guess you take the cap off, and that's the interior of the cap. Put it right there. So apparently how this works, you can see it's like a little spray, like a little mini spray bottle. And apparently this is just supposed to be like a sour candy. That's supposed to be an apple flavor. I'm going to shake it up. I'm going to shake it up for you. I don't know if you're really supposed to do that. But anyway, I'll shake it up anyway to ensure maximum freshness in case this thing has been sitting out for 20 years and all the good stuff is settled to the bottom. Alright, there we go. It's all shaken up, and now I suppose I'm just to place pressure on the top and just, oh yeah, I know, I'm so strong, and spray it in my mouth. So that I will do as though I am just giving myself a bit of a breath, a breath mint or some spray or whatever. So now I'm just going to try it. Well, that was a disappointment. I guess I have to do it a few times. Oh. Oh, goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, it actually like some causes this. Oh my gosh, that is sour. That is sour. All right. I know you I know you want me to do it a few more times, so I will for your amusement. But oh my goodness, that is sour. That's more sour than I expected it to be. All right. This probably is battery acid that I'm shooting into my mouth. All right. I'll do it twice more. Oh my gosh. That's just an inadvertent. I know this stuff, but it just causes this inadvertent. Looked painful. Oh gosh. It's sour. It's not by any means the most sour thing I have ever consumed in my life. However, the one advantage that I would say it does have, um, compared to other sour candies, is that pretty much this thing is just acid, not LSD, but just acid, and a little bit of sugar, but you're kind of getting it in its purest form, completely direct, so just a full blown hit of it. And a lot of other sour candies, it's something that usually just has a a bit of a sour coating or a sour, it's just more progressive. Whereas this is just immediate, and it just hits you right away. Um, I'll just spray it once more because I was focused really on the sourness, which it certainly has plenty of. But I do need to find out whether any sort of strong or discernible apple flavor does indeed exist. So I'll just two more sprays to find that one out. So I'm building a tolerance to it. Breathed in a little bit of it by accident. One more for the heck of it. No, just more. It's just very acidic. Very acidic. Not even really sugary. It's just very acidic. I don't think this is a product really that one would consume if they're saying, "Hey, boy, I'm really looking for something that tastes like an apple, but isn't an apple. Hey, let me get this thing for that genuine apple flavor." I would I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that this is an item to get should you be seeking out apple flavor exclusively. Rather, I think it's something that you should you should get just if you want something that's sour. But I don't really think there is a discernible apple flavor. Um, so that's where that stands. Yeah. No discernible apple flavor. It's a little bit of a disappointment there. But as a car freshener, what could be anything that you want it to be, but it's supposed to be something that you consume uh, that is supposed to have a rich sour apple flavor to it. Is my tongue green? No, I don't think it is. Um, maybe part of it is. Maybe like a quarter. No, maybe 35% of it might be green. Um, but otherwise, when it comes down to this product, expect it to be very sour, but it's not going to be as sugary, or it will not have that rich apple flavor that I think most consumers will be buying this for. Please keep that in mind. If you do wish to get this item, of course, You can try it on the Amazon store. I will post the link to that more so in the description once this is all said and done. If you really have the inherent desire to get this for one reason or another. But it says very sour, very acidic. That's really all that you have to say about it. It can be an interesting snack. It could be something that you could have on the go. Just take it to the office. Just put it in your jacket pocket and just take it out and spray it like it's some, breath freshener or whatever. You can, maybe it can be multifaceted. I wouldn't suggest this, but maybe you can, use it and spray it and maybe let it absorb into your flesh. Should you please? So it does have mobility on its side, but keep in mind it's not necessarily going to have that rich apple flavor that so many of us seek. Therefore, out of 10, I'm going to give this a 7.5 out of 10, which still, it does have a very potent, sour acidity to it that really does hit you hard first and foremost, but it does not have that sour apple flavor. So there you go. It was a product full of twists and turns. To be quite honest, though, I think I would just recommend, just consuming it as directed. I wonder. Let me check. I'm curious. Does this have consuming directions, or does it just tell you to do whatever you want to do with it? I'm curious. Let me read this. Let's see if this even tells you how you're supposed to consume it. I mean, I just thought by nature you're just supposed to like shoot it in your mouth, but I don't know. What does it say on it? Let me read every word on this. Warhead's apple, artificially flavored, ages 4 and up. All right. All right, that means I'm good enough to take it. Okay. Warhead's super sour spray candy, 0.68 fluid ounces. Let's see. Twist off cap. There's the ingredients. Made in USA, plastics made in China. Let's see. It's good until August of 2020. All right, so we're good then. But let's see. Does this tell you how to even consume it? Or does it just say, yeah, do whatever you want with it? All right, here's the warning. Choking hazard, small parts, not for children under 3 years of age. Consuming large quantities within a brief period may cause temporary irritation to sensitive tongues. Avoid spraying in eyes. Okay. So the instructions thereby state that you cannot take this visually. So you cannot spray it into your eyes, unfortunately. But you're supposed to spray it in your mouth. I guess if you were to take it literally, I guess you could forget it. Spray it elsewhere and call it a day, but I think it is most likely meant to be sprayed in one's mouth, especially on their tongue. All right, so now we know. You cannot spray that glorious battery acid in your eyes. That's where it is. You need mods. No, it's all right. The chat is fine. If you're not going to expect it to, it's kind of just what it is. All right. So there was a review. As I said, for those reasons, of course, it wasn't necessarily a full-blown, serious, sit-down review, but it was just something fun that I wanted to do for all of you on the live stream. Hope you all enjoyed it. It was just a, just fun, just fun to do. That's why I thought it'd just be of some entertainment to someone somewhere, and I thought it'd be best to do, as I said, on the live stream. All right. Let me just refresh this page here for the super chats, and just see if any more came in. Otherwise, I think, let's see. Otherwise, I guess I'm just going to talk a little bit more, but I've almost been at it for 2 hours. I started this at 8:30, and so I'm gonna be winding this stream down pretty soon. But I'm gonna take a few more questions and then wrap it up. I'd say just maybe some miscellaneous blabbering here and there. But yeah, it was sour. Someone was saying on a scale of 1 to 10, how sour was it? Now, the first thing that you have to remember when it comes down to the souriness, if that's a word, if it's not, you know what I mean, of a product, is the consumer's sensitivity to sour products. But one thing that you do have to remember when it comes down to this item is that it's kind of condensed in so much that it's, unlike other sour products, where it's just a sugar soury coating or whatnot, it's very potent. So it will hit you immediately, and I'll say that the first spray or two is the strongest. Okay, there you go. Let's see what we got going on now with the super chats for any final questions. Why are you using Wirecast? Well, why not? It's there to be used. It's a program upon which may be convenient for setting up a live stream. It works, you know. All right, let me just check a few last shout outs here. And then I'll just wrap it up. And that'll be that. Biscuit Mojo checking in. Do you play any video games at all, old or new? Define a video game, but on occasion I will play 8-ball pool on miniclip here or there, where I'll play that from time to time. Username on that is TROTW_official. That's the same as my Twitter handle. So if you ever want to 1v1 me on that, that's what it is. I'll play that. Otherwise, I'll play Solitaire, the Windows Solitaire, and all that good stuff. All right. Anyway, let me just check up a few last questions here. Chance Eastham checking in. Do you prefer mayo, mustard, or ketchup on your burgers? I prefer ketchup. Always ketchup, not mayo. Sometimes mustard can add, some. It can add some good flavor to some burgers. But I always prefer ketchup on my hamburgers, or hamburgers, as they say sometimes. Sebastian Camacho checking in. Review bra again, I have this Sebastian individual wants me to tell Chris that he's lame, but how do I know that Chris actually is? Chris might be the coolest guy in town, so it's based on unconfirmed information. So unfortunately, I cannot do such a thing. Anyway, let's get to a few last ones, and then we'll just wrap it up. Let's see who else we have. Alexandra checking in, huge fan of the channel and VORW radio show. What's your favorite non-fast food restaurant? Thanks for providing such awesome content, and have a great weekend. Gosh. Non-fast food. That's tough. I'm not necessarily one to have a defined list right in front of me. That will lead me actually into a little tangent. Why the heck, I'll go for it. I'll tell you all the story. Nowadays, you won't know that chains, especially like Applebee's and Fridays and Chili's, of course, haven't a very good reputation nowadays. And a lot of people, they always say, blah, 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 microwaved food, and then insert one of those three chain names there. And Applebee's used to be, about 7 or 8 years ago, used to be a chain which I would actually go to. Now, again, this is years ago. But I would always go to Applebee's and I would enjoy their boneless wings. It's just something that I would enjoy getting at the time. And I would sometimes get their burgers too. But then I abruptly stopped. I just, for one reason or another, I stopped going. But I stopped going there. And now it's been about 7 or 8 years since I have ever been to Applebee's or TGI Fridays or Chili's even. I've never, it's been so long since I've ever been to one of them. And, lately, within the last few years, people have been saying that all these chains are terrible, and that the food is just utter garbage, and that it's just microwaved. And, I can't, I can't give an opinion on that because I haven't been there in so long. But I feel because I've seen pictures and reviews of what people have been saying about Applebee's especially. That's the biggest target always, Applebee's, I think if I were to go to one, I think I would be setting myself up for disappointment. That's just how I feel. Because just the other day, someone posted some picture of like an Applebee's appetizer, and it looked disgusting. But if I could speak firsthand about disgusting food, it was from that Taco Bell that I couldn't even eat it yesterday, because it was just so disgusting. It just looked like, as I said, like like the contents of a baby's diaper. That's what it looked like. The tortilla and all. It's like the tortilla was the diaper, and everything else inside of it was the excrement. I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. It's just so disgusting. That's all I can tell you. Oh, wow. That's all I can say. Okay, on to a few last ones then that we got. Let's see what else. Michael Hopper checking in. Thank you, Michael. Let's see what else. What else do we have here? Martin Radio 2. Hello, sir. Longtime fan. Thoughts on the Forbes article? And are you excited to hit 1 million subscribers? You deserve it. The Forbes article was something that they interviewed me to do. And I thought it was a very nice piece. I thought it was a very nice piece of professional journalism, and I thought it was a very nice, just a very nice piece. Of course, my compliments go out to the author of the article, but it was a very nice one. I thought they did a very good one. They were very kind, respectful to work with, and also, yes, the question about 1 million subscribers. Well, again, of course, it's a huge milestone, but when it comes down to it, as I said earlier, with YouTube and numbers on YouTube, a lot of the times you will be your channel for one reason or another. The growth of it may not always be natural. It's because YouTube will just put you in the algorithm at a in a higher rank than others for one reason or another, and you got to remember that. So the numbers are going to go down. The numbers are going to they're going to crash, and that's fine. The most important thing, and I said this earlier, when it comes to YouTube, the most important thing with YouTube and creating content on YouTube is not necessarily focusing on the numbers exclusively. Now, 1 million subscribers, of course, is a huge milestone. It's incredible. But you can't set up and say, all right, I expect to get X amount of subscribers a month, and if I don't, I'm doing something wrong. Or a certain amount of views per video, I'm doing something wrong. A lot of the time, when it comes down to YouTube, it all depends on whether the algorithm likes your video and decides to promote it or not, and that's what it comes down to. You have to have that realization first. Secondly, you have to remember, okay, even with that understanding, the views are going to undulate. It's going to be like one giant sine wave continuously, where they're going to have their peaks and they're going to have their lows, and nothing you do is going to change that. With that said, don't get wrapped up in the numbers too much and create what you would like to create. Have fun with it. Try your best to be genuine, to just don't try and be something that you're not because you think that it's going to get you more views in doing so, because people will be able to sniff it out. That I can guarantee you. And that's just my thoughts. But of course, it's a incredible milestone, and if it ever gets there, or whenever it gets there, be it in a month, 2 months, a week, or whatever it is, it's just an incredible milestone. That's all. All right, on to a few last questions, and then we're done. Ryan checking in. Thank you for encouraging kindness and integrity. My pleasure, Ryan. That's something that I think I wish was more prevalent today, because it's two things, of course, which I really do support. Kindness, integrity, peace, and understanding. Let's see what else we have. Alex B checking in. Shout out your way. Nate checking in. He says, love the content. Can you give a shout out to Rachel Taylor? All right. Shout out. Garbage content writes in, your channel is my favorite. Can you give a shout out to Daniel Rochelle? Okay. Shout out that way. This individual checking in, CIB 8282. Good luck with the VORW show. Thank you. I appreciate your well wishes there. Thank you. And let's see who else. Gator Guy checking in. Oscar, he says, shout out to Austin. It's his birthday. Birthday shout out. Happy birthday, Austin. Shout out to Six Tech Productions. Who else do we have? Dry Potato writes in. Not moist potato, but just a dry potato. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Laura checking in. Shout out. Ian Murphy from Ireland checking in. My apologies. Sometimes I just go on and I was trying to get the names right. Hello from Ireland. Great setting here. Great watch. Thank you. Let's see what else. Grace checking in. A bit of an introspective question. What is a piece of advice you would give to your younger self if you had the chance? Oh, well, of course, I think it's a piece of advice that a lot of people would give their younger self, but it's something that I kind of did discuss in a past video a few weeks ago, where to just try and be more respectful and mature. But giving yourself that advice, like let's say for instance I was able to teleport back 7 years and say that to my younger self. I think a lot of our younger selves would kind of look at that and we would think, well, yeah, but I already feel that I am mature, and it'd just be advice that'd be going to waste. Of course, retrospectively, you can see a lot of things that you yourself didn't see when you were younger. That has to be realized, and of course that could lead to, saying, well, I wish I did that, I wish I did this, I wish I didn't do that or this, and, could leave you with regrets or whatever. But the past is the past. Move forward, and a saying that I have heard, and a saying that I always like to promote, is I always try and say that the past is unchangeable, but the future is still a clean slate. That you can still write the future. That you could still have a certain degree of control over the future, even though the past is set in stone. You still have the future ahead of you, and I think that's a good saying that can't be forgotten. All right, just a few last questions here. If you do have anything, of course, a way to submit questions and And just help the channel out too, of course, is the super chat, but I'm going to wrap things up soon. Alright, on a final note, a few last ones. Let's see. Classic album recommendation. If you want to listen to more music, check out Metal by Pink Floyd. The performance of Echoes at Pompeii is excellent. Thank you. Pink Floyd, always a classic, and something I'll definitely give a listen to. Pink Floyd, they're great. Gravy Donson checks in. Love your stuff. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you. Thank you kindly. Your boy checking in. I can't really make that one out though, but shout out your way. And who else do we have? John checking in. Hi, review brought to my mother's birthday. Can you please give a shout out to Enza Denino? Thanks, love your content. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Brian Bay, thank you. And Two Hands in a Radio checking in. Thank you for the shout out earlier. I'm humbled and flattered. Also an early congratulations on 1 million subscribers. Well deserved. Thank you kindly. Yes, you run a great YouTube channel. Something you should really be proud of. You do excellent reviews, and it's great to have you as a listener as well. But you run an excellent YouTube channel. Great informative radio reviews that just continue to impress. Alrighty, well, I'm just gonna check the just check it last time, and then I'm done. Show is over. Yeah, that's where it stands. I'm just waiting for the page to load is all. Sometimes it can get the computer can get a bit slowed down. I'm just waiting to see. I always try and have the super chats organized. And, well, thank you for your suggestion. Alright. That's all that I have. I'm just thinking if there's anything else that I wanted to say or talk about, but no, not really. This is your live stream that was done this Friday evening. Again, that's all that I have. Gonna wrap things up. If you're interested, of course, I do the VORW radio show. You can call it what you want to call it. Could be a radio show, could be a broadcast. If you want to call it a podcast, then it's a podcast too. But it is what it is. It's an hour that I do for you every week, though. It's something that I post on SoundCloud. It goes out on TuneIn. Goes out on the international Shortwave every Thursday and Sunday. You could find a schedule in the description there. And SoundCloud was having some problems earlier. I don't know if that's been fixed yet or not, but it's it's giving me some problems earlier, some site-wide technical issue. But once it's fixed or reestablished or whatever it might be, and then check it out. That's all that I have. Alright, thank you for watching. I'm your host, the Report of the Week. Hope you enjoyed the live stream, and I apologize if that one shout out was anything it shouldn't have been. And if it is, my sincerest apologies, and that's all that I have to say. Alright, that is all. Wish you all a pleasant remainder of your Friday, this 11th of May. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Hope you have a pleasant weekend. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. And, next live stream might be at, I'd imagine in early June. That's all that I have. Thank you all for your questions. Thank you all for your support of this channel. The Super Chat truly is a huge means of supporting this channel. I say that. And thank you all for your support. It really does mean a lot. Thank you all for, for just watching, being a wonderful audience, for all your questions, and and making this stream fun. I had a lot of fun doing this stream. Hope you had a lot of fun watching it. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you again for watching. Take care. I'm your host, the Report of the Week.